shall we get started? I'm going to try a different camera angle today because I figure that the steering wheel is going to be more interesting than just my face. Hello. Welcome to Bus of the Westcountry 3. Hello. Multiple hellos. Probably going to get quite a lot of the light adjusting to my face. Right. Bus of the Westcountry version 3 Alpha 7. Jaden has been hard at work since the last time you saw this. Because I'm one of the people who made it. That's why I get it. Though it's almost entirely Jaden. Honestly. Though there's a few other people out and about who've got early preview versions. It's basically people picked and chosen by Jaden. Picked and chosen by Jaden. Gotta be in his good books. So, things to expect. Hello. None of the traffic rules have been done yet. There will be places like this where the traffic does not behave like you'd expect it to behave. None of the routes have been set up yet. This is basically just scenic at this point. So, we're expecting AI trouble, and there aren't going to be proper routes. I've been part of the team making this. There's a grey curve below my logo in the overlay. You're absolutely right. What is that? What is that? Yes. There we go. It's part of the countdown timer that I've been using for my endurance races. Is what it is. Well spotted, I hadn't noticed that at all. So yeah. I have a route planned out for us, which is going to take us over the whole of the map. There aren't any route markers, so I may get lost along the way. But yeah, we're just going to drive around and we're going to get some impressions. So yeah, I'm part of the team who's been making the map. Yeah, no, I've tried to memorize the route before starting. But almost all of this is Jaden's work. IMX's work, I should say. So I think I've memorized the route well enough. So basically what I'm going to do is we're starting out in Totnes. This is the... hello. This is the new bus depot in Totnes. There are 2 bus depots in the map now. There's one in Totnes and one in Paynton. My settings, I have mirrors on economy mode and 256 by 256. And I do not have stencil buffer effects. I don't have a NASA PC, but I have got an overclocked Ryzen 3600, and I'm running it on a PCIe Gen 4 1TB SSD. So if the traffic gets particularly bad in places, we might just skip over it, but I'm going to try and stick to driving like a real person. Yeah, Eye contact. 2 routes. There will be 4 in the not too distant future, but for now there are 2 routes. Yeah, I know Reese has some ideas for what his next projects are going to be. See you in a bit. I know he has some ideas what his next project's going to be. But yeah, there may be parts where the traffic just gridlocks like this, because the traffic rules really haven't been set up yet. So for the sake of keeping us moving, I'm just going to skip over them. Yeah, but it's very close now. Water anime? Hell yeah. I'd watch that. So this is the supermarket terminus at the Totnes end, which has this nice turning circle in it. Traffic lights basically aren't set up, so we're going to be running reds everywhere today. Nope, still not payware. I mean, there's still a question mark over making a premium edition to support the team who made it. So, like, releasing... The plan was always that the 35 was going to be free. And then we could introduce a payware expansion to the map. But at the very least, everything that I show you today will be freeware. Shall I move my chat to the other screen? Because if I move chat to the other screen, then I'll be actually looking to somewhere towards the camera. PC specs above, yet. Just try the same settings I mentioned. That's the plan with Farthington. So I'm going to try and remember the route, but we'll see. We'll see how we go. I can still remember the whole Route 35 from 2.9. Also, this bit at the moment is a bit of a lag fest. So we'll have to see what we can do about that. This junction, I believe, has been properly pathed, but obviously the traffic rules aren't quite set up properly yet. So we're just going to smack this guy. Yeah, Paynton is really nice and smooth. Totnes is a bit of a problem at the moment. I'm expecting to the order of 30 or so. No, this isn't my AI pack. This is the Buses of the Westcountry modified Basoni fictional AI pack. It's not unheard of at all either. This is about normal for an OMSI stream. Yeah, I'm planning on it. Yep. It's the OMSI streams that bring everyone out from the woodwork. I mean, another thing at the moment is, since I'm streaming, that's having a bit of an effect on the frame rate. Right, let's put some random destination up on the destination board. In fact, let's put the correct destination up on the destination board and just get some people to come on board.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hiya.
That voice pack is just... I can't wait until we move past that voice pack. I'm just trying out this camera angle because it lets you see the wheel. Yep, that's the idea. But I figure it might be more interesting if you can see what I'm doing with the wheel. And yep, OnlyFans account on the way. Get ready. Oh yeah, I was going to move the chat over to the left. So ready. I'm just going to move the chat over to the left quickly. And then that over to the right. Yeah. I'm going to need to do something better for Farthington. If I can't do something better, at the very least I'm just going to have to turn it off. Right, well this bit hadn't been properly set up last time I was here, so that's new. Yes, it is. And I believe Yorkshire is as well. With almost all of the voices done by numbers, Chris, as far as I can tell. Yeah, that voice pack is... Yep. Yeah, this is a first pass. This is not a release candidate. This is just a first pass.
Jeez,
Oh, this voice pack, I love it so much. There, yeah.
Hello. Hiya, driver. Hello. Oh, hello.
So, things like that are things that are going to be sorted out before release. That's the way that IMX normally works. Is instead of trying to get everything in an area done in one go, he'll go through the whole map laying stuff out, and then go through the whole map doing a first pass of details, and then go through the whole map again, sorting out bugs and fixing bits and bobs, and then he'll go through the whole map one last time, adding that layer of polish. So this is before the layer of polish has been done. Oi, love, calm down when you're driving. Yeah, this is the new Totnes. We have a nice bridge leading into it. We have pride flags everywhere, because of course. I have the... Oh god, I can't remember what the two settings are called. But I have the strength turned all the way up and the effects turned all the way down, if that makes sense. So I don't have any vibrations because they just make the wheel rattle horribly. But I have all the centering. So, yes, it's raining passengers. There's a very good reason for that, and that's because that roof there counts as a surface at the moment, and it needs to not count as a surface. That's a thing that we absolutely know about and are absolutely going to fix. Yeah. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like, hello. Also, I got a new sub earlier. Who was that? Jamie Bally. Thank you for subbing. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's going to be fixed. Like I say, this is like the second pass. So there's still the final finishing touches pass left to do, where all the pathing's fixed, all the traffic rules are fixed. Any cars with slashed tyres are fixed. I'm going to take down that sign. Nope. Like that van. See, someone's definitely been out with a knife here. A knife and a vengeance. Yep. Yes, I absolutely follow the F1. Yeah. It just seems like the right kind of thing for the area. Yeah, this is New Totnes. Crunch.
Good day, driver.
I'm not a Hamilton hater. You got me and Macaulay all mixed up. I think Hamilton is an amazing driver and one of the best the world's ever seen, and is also extremely boring. Hello. Fire station. That's new since the last time I was here. Ah, yes. Gatekeeping. Yeah, Jaden's been working really hard on it. Well, I think you're not a real F1 fan if you don't wear a bracelet made of teeth around your ankle, but there you go. We've all got our opinions. So yeah, my plan for what we're going to do is we're going to follow the new 35 route from Totnes to Paignton again. I reckon that may well happen. We're going to follow the Totnes to Paignton's route. Ah, you heard. Yes, as opposed to what Max Verstappen does, which is actually be a terrible person live on air. Yeah, no, a lot of F1 drivers... A lot of F1 drivers have said some terrible stuff. But we watch it for the racing. Anyway, we're going to go from Totnes to Paignton via the new 35 route. I'm going to see if I can remember it without having to resort to route markers or third-person camera. And then we're going to go from Paignton to Blagdon. Blagdon is the new seaside town. We don't know yet. There will definitely be a freeware version which will have everything that you see here today. I think that Jaden wants to release the full version entirely as freeware and not have a payware version like we were discussing a while ago. But I can't tell you for certain. Gasly to Mercedes. Well, yeah, but then Perez has been all over the place. Stop winding people up. Oh yes. Also, hello. I don't think I've seen you on a stream before. Maybe not for like years. That is possible, yeah. Oh, come on. I'm going to push out in front of this guy in front of me. No, I don't think they should be rebranding either. I mean, they've just got Alonso back. So, you know, like if your team is Renault and you have Fernando Alonso driving for you, just go the whole hog. Make a big deal out of it. Paint your cars blue and yellow. Like, own it. Yeah, exactly. This junction is one of the ones which has yet to be sorted out properly, which is why you can see all of this Z fighting in front of you. Unless you're watching in 360p, Ross, in which case you won't. Yeah. I mean, Alpine's a famous motorsport name, but they're a famous rally motorsport name. Though they're basically using that as their sports brand at the moment. I get the feeling that somebody high up in Renault wants to cut the sports brand, but they're trying to convince them to keep it and they don't have the sales for it. So they're sort of trying one last push by rebranding the F1 team to Alpine to try and shift some Alpine sports cars and save the brand. That's what I reckon's going on. I will never not bully Ross over his internet.
Hello.
Hello.
Good day, driver. Hello, lads.
It'd be nice if I knew what part of Omzi's force feedback made it make that sound, so I can do better when I do my own. Is this thing limited to 40 kph? Oh, speak of the devil. We were just making fun of your internet, Ross. Where? Which sticker? Where? Ah, 60. Come on. We might just about hit 30. This is the open topper. So TL. Right, floor it. Foot all the way to the floor. Beware merging traffic. Again, another bit full of Z fighting that will be sorted out before release. There's just a lot of bits and pieces like this where it's sort of functionally complete, but it hasn't had that layer of polish yet. Excuse me. Oh boy, 60 kph. I sure do love 60 kph. No, but this is the AI that this is the AI that's going to be used to start with. So I thought I'd stick with it for now. Ah, come on. Sure, you've got another gear in there somewhere. Come on. Come on. Foot is welded to the floor. Top quality bus dev. Hell yeah. I still quite like Berry Pomeroy. Berry Pomeroy is one of the few bits of the map that I did basically myself. Almost everything else is Jaden's work, but Berry Pomeroy is mine. Nah. Oh yeah, you've won the internet points. One thing that Jaden's worked quite hard on is the custom directional signage. Don't know if the AI is ever going to work out how to pull out from here. IMX, sorry. I'm not sure if we're ever pulling out of here. No, we're not. This is never going to happen. This is the kind of thing that we'll work out through drive testing before release. Hello, I am here now. Oh, shut up, you. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What have I done? What's being clipped? What did I say? Bing. Uh-oh. Yes. Oh, come on, I'm doing 60 kph. You're only doing 50. Oh. Oh. Oh no. No. Bad. Bad, bad. Very bad. So how many years has Russell got to get in a good car and be the youngest world champion? Because if he gets in a Mercedes in 2022, then he has a fighting chance. One thing Omzi's really missing is the sound of tree deflectors hitting overhanging trees. Ah, right. Unless he wins it in the Williams. Come on. Russell's good. I'm not sure he's as good as people say he is, but he's... I mean, he's the top end of the field, like, as drivers go. He does more with the car than he should be able to. I mean, come on, he's been using the... yeah. Like, he's been using a Williams to beat McLarens and Racing Points and Ferraris. I mean, I know beating a Ferrari doesn't mean much at the moment. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this area. It's new to Buses of the Westcountry 3, but it's existed for, like, 2 years now. It was sort of made in the last period of activity.
Hello.
Yeah, I really like this village. Performance in Totnes is pretty bad. Performance everywhere else has been pretty good. Yeah, Dave was saying that his performance... Dave was saying that his performance was pretty good in Totnes, so... The only thing I will say is I've been getting a lot more orange boxes than I normally do. I also really like this view in front of you at this junction here. Yeah, just coming out of Totnes, I get a lot of orange boxes. Loading boxes. When the game stalls and starts to load stuff. Hopefully we can work those out before release. That's one of those tricky things though, because, like, what it'll probably come down to is there are too many unique assets being used in that area. Oh, I really like the bus stop that's just basically somebody's driveway. I like that. Yes, that's what this used to be. Yeah, there you go. The thing I find pretty insane is that he's matched all of the junction gradients manually. Yeah, from here onwards everything has changed. You won't recognise any of the map from 2.9 from here onwards. I'll think about that closer to release. When I was having a good chat today about what I want to do with... I like that road layout, by the way. I was having a chat today about what I want to do with multiplayer servers. So basically what I want to do is I want servers to be lightweight enough that you can have community hosted servers for various maps. So like there might be 3 or 4 pump the pedal, okay. There might be 3 or 4 Fellas Film servers, each hosting a different map, for instance. Yeah, this is the park and ride. That's the park and ride there. We're not going to go into it because there's no way into it from here. Hello, Stony Jack. Huh. Yeah, there's a couple of areas where there's quite a lot of orange boxes, and it would be nice to try and work them out before release. One thing which really helps the appearance of the map... I don't know yet. One thing which really helps the appearance of the map is the fake shadows. Hello, Colour WYD. Oh, sorry, yes. No, it's not Route 3, it's Buses of the Westcountry version 3. But yeah, we'll see if we can do something about these orange boxes. So one thing is I don't know at the moment how many of these junctions are properly pathed and which ones have the traffic lights set up properly. So I don't know where I'm going to just have to skip past the queues. It comes down to the user's PCs, but I have pretty much the fastest SSD you can buy. Okay. Also, welcome back. Yeah. That's kind of what I'm gathering. No. Looks green to me. Yeah. So Jaden's not a huge fan of the IMAX, sorry, is not a huge fan of the layout of this park and ride bus stop here, but I really quite like it because I think it's a bit weird and interesting.
What is sweetie?
Hello.
Are you driving?
What?
Did I say park and ride? I meant hospital. Oh. Ah. That's why you were mentioning it. I really like how this area looks. It really has that sort of hospital car park feel. There's a very distinct feel that all hospital car parks seem to have, with these sort of slightly scrubby areas between the parking areas. Hello, Glass Spotting 26. We are about 2/3 of the way through the Route 35. We have made it from Totnes to the outskirts of Paynton. Bloody hell. Ah, I was meant to turn left there. I'm going to be a bad boy. Going to be naughty. Oh, well, that ain't right. And no, it's Project Gladbeck. They've really changed a lot, including moving the whole map to the UK. They added another 15 routes last week alone. It annoys me that there's a separate Twitch category for OMSI 2 Project Gladbeck compared to just regular old OMSI 2. But yes, a Paynton is going to look very different from what you remember. Yes. Yes, he is. Hello. No, there's OMSI, OMSI 2, and OMSI 2 Project Gladbeck. Those are the categories. God knows. So yeah, the whole of Paynton has changed immeasurably. This is one of the areas that's only just been laid out and is still in sort of sketch form, which is why there's no road markings or anything. Yeah, Gladbeck is... but if you count it in terms of price per route, you see? I'm pretty sure that's what the developers actually said. Yeah, this is completely different even from Alpha 6, which is the last version that I drove. So this is basically the middle of town now. It's like being short-sighted. People wave their hand at you and go, "How many fingers am I holding up?" Like, I don't see extra fingers. They're just very slightly fuzzy. Yeah, I think everyone with some kind of disability or condition or something has some kind of question like that people always ask them. I have Chicago and Hamburg, and if you could count Neuendorf, because that came with the 0305 DLC. Hello, yeet. Yes, can I try your glasses on? Oh my god, you're blind! There you go. True impression. I told you I'd be doing a first impressions stream. That building needs some fixing. Yeah. Some people do. It's an odd phenomenon. Come on. That was full throttle. Hello. We're nearly at the end of the 35, and then we're going to go and do the 12. Yep, squidge. That's something I need to do for UBS. Tower for the host. That's something I'm going to need to do for UBS. Is to add squish sound effects. So that when you run into a pedestrian, it goes squish. It's kind of squeezed in. I think that might change the I think that might change the rating. Oh god. Like the maturity rating for the map.
What?
Oh, not the map, for the game. Yes. The Wilhelm scream. That's what it needs. It's perfect. Yeah. Welcome to the seafront. The end of the 35 and the start of the 12.
Hello.
And also, as of today, with animated wave wash. But yeah, Painton is now basically Tookie. Because the map hasn't been finalised yet. So things like that are things that are going to be dealt with in drive testing later. But yeah, look, waves. So now we're moving off the end of the 35. Sorry, I was looking at chat. I was moving off the end. We're looking. We finished the 35. Now we're going to go and do the 12. Yeah, I really like the feel of this area. I mean, the map has always been... Like, Totnes in the map is nothing like the Totnes in real life. And it never has been. It now has a few buildings from the real Totnes, but it's still very much a creation of IMX's imagination, which is what it was always meant to be. Yeah, I really like these seafront sections. They just have that sort of sandy feel, if you know what I mean. Guess we should turn on the air conditioning. Isn't there another switch I had to press on the dashboard or something in order to make that actually work? Oh bloody hell, it's 37 degrees in here. Okay, aircon all the way up. Oh, thank you. Yeah, 37 degrees. Nice. This is the Steam version. I re-downloaded it just before I started, just to make sure that I had everything in good working order. At least it should be the Steam version. But yeah, there you go. Washing waves on the left. I haven't actually driven along here with the waves before, so I'm quite enjoying seeing them properly for the first time. They work quite well, don't they? 011899988199991197253. 3. Yep. I think all of us can remember that number off by heart now. What do you think of the waves? Because they were just the thing that I was experimenting with earlier today, because I thought that the seafront bits looked a bit bland. So I decided to try making some animated waves, and they're very, very simple. Oh, hello. They just sinusoidally move in and out, and sinusoidally get more and less opaque. So it's a very simple effect, but it seems to work quite well. Mine, not yours, Mr. Van. I know it says give way there, but I think right of way in the real world goes to the person with the largest number of tons in their vehicle. And that van can't be more than 7.5 tons, because otherwise you need a special license. I weigh 11 tons unladen.
Hello, mate.
Probably about 16 at the moment with all the passengers on board. It always surprises me how much passengers weigh. Is it getting any cooler in here? 36.4. Right, now this is the bit where I'm more likely to get lost. I think we basically keep going straight on until we hit another dual carriageway section, and then we go left to the set of traffic lights at the end, and then immediately left. Yeah. Also, I hadn't realised there was a depot there. And some humans get their entertainment on our potatoes. See, after this I was going to do a run back to the Paynton depot because we haven't seen that yet. We've seen the new Totnes depot, but we haven't been to the Paynton depot yet. Cheeky bugger. I shudder to think how long all these hedges took to do. This is one of my favourite bits of the map, just coming up here.
Hello, mate. Hello there.
1 gig isn't that bad for the kind of map that it is, honestly. But yeah, is it going to make up the hill? Get in the crawler lane. Yeah. Into the crawler lane. But yeah, look. Sea foam. Nobody has ever done that in OMSI before. I mean, they've done sea foam, but they haven't done moving sea foam. Come on. Come on. I'm just going to put the hazard lights on. There we go. 10 miles an hour. Is that first gear? I think we might do it. We're going to do it. There we go. We made it. I might switch to something a bit faster for the run back to the depot. It's not going to be released until Bus of the Westcountry 3 comes out. And so it will be publicly usable, but normally it will be it will be publicly usable, but not until Bus of the Westcountry 3 comes out. Same with the shadow objects and the ground grunge objects. Those are going to be exclusive to it on release, but then yep, they're going to be exclusive to the map on release, but after release anyone can use them. Because, you know, it's a first, it's a thing that we've come up with and we've worked out how to do, so we're going to keep exclusivity of it for a bit, but we're also not going to stop other people from using it. But we want our map to be the first one to have it. Yep, same as the faux shadows. Those are going to be a Bus of the Westcountry exclusive at release, but after release anyone can use them. Which I think is the best. I mean, for one thing, it means that we get a bit of exclusivity over it, so our hard work goes, like, repaid somehow. And for another thing, it means that we get to test them and make sure that they work properly before we release them. They're in use more at the other end of the map. Basically, they're fake shadows. They're fake shadows that sit under things like trees or bridges or stuff like that to darken an area. So they compensate for Omzi's lack of shadows. So areas where the road would be darkened by a tree shadow or a bridge shadow and stuff, we're using these fake shadows that we've made. Yeah. I didn't actually originally make them to be fake shadows. I originally made them to be user configurable ground textures with sort of details on them, or dirt and grime or that sort of stuff. But they turned out to be really good. Hello, it's Rosso9. They turned out to be really good for fake shadows. So we started using them as fake shadows. Turned out they had performance problems as fake shadows. So I made a new specific version. This junction's a bit of a pain. Really, this should be a signal junction with a stop line back here, so I'm just going to smash this car. It should be a signal junction with a stop line about where I am now, so that the buses have enough room to swing in. Because there really isn't enough room if there's any AI traffic there. Farthington. I don't know. Probably yes. Yeah, or go over the curb. I don't know. I don't want the map to just... I'll see. If there are places where they would be appropriate and make the map look better, then yes, I will use them. Otherwise, no, I won't. I think is the answer. If I can make the map look good without them, then I'm not going to use them. Everything you see on this stream will be free, yes. This is the terminus of the Route 12. Which is Stoneleigh. Yep, Jaden makes use of what he can where he can. Also, one thing you might notice about maps that Jaden makes is that they always have they always have loading areas. Yeah, I like the weird road layouts around here. They always have like loading areas and places for lorries to drop off and pick up, because, you know, he's a lorry driver. So that's the kind of thing that he notices a lot in everyday life. And yeah, this is the terminus of the Route 12 in this little fishing town market. Yeah, full HGVs. I think for a while he was doing local deliveries, but now I think he's doing, I don't know. I know he switched to now the priorities have got messed up here. I think he switched to doing some different routes recently, but I'm not sure. Yeah, this area is nice. Yeah, I think he does overnight haulage now. The water animation's very simple, but it really adds some motion to the scene. Because you can imagine how this would look if it didn't have animated water. Right. And that is your Route 12. this is a map that I have been on the team for a number of years, but most of what you see here was made by IMX. There. The animation on them is extremely simple. But since you're mostly looking at them from down here, it doesn't matter that the animation's not perfect. So yeah, let's spawn a faster bus and head back to the depot. Because that's the one bit of the map that I haven't shown you yet. And I can't remember the way to get to it, so this is going to be interesting. No, I thought I had something more interesting than that, and let's just take a boring old C400R. How about that? Come off at the park and ride, fair enough. Yes, it will. Yeah, the C200 is honestly one of the most exciting parts of London. Actually, the sounds get a bit muddy if you have the window open. I don't have the Trident installed on this copy, so I keep a bunch of separate copies of OMSI installed, so that I can keep copies clean and performing reasonably well. It's the best thing to do when you're developing. This copy does not. There goes the curb. This copy doesn't have the Trident on it. I don't see why it should, but it does seem to. Also, the driver views in the C400 are still my favourite driver views of any UK bus. Mostly because I made them and I set them up the way I like them. So you've got over-the-shoulder views in both directions, so you can see out of awkward junctions. Yeah. I mean, the other thing isn't performance, it's the ability to package things up, knowing that you aren't relying on stuff that people don't have installed. A lot has changed. Like, a lot has changed. It has new doors, new sounds, new bits and bobs in the interior, though a lot of the interior is still the same. Including the front door. There's obviously all the London-specific features that have... Yeah, I hate these doors. Like, just for the record, I made these doors. I made them as a last-minute bodge, as part of trying to get the thing done and released. And I hate them so much. I hate them. They look so toy-like. They just don't look real. Nor do those handrail grabs. I hate them. Oh yeah, and the heating works. And the suspension works. Yeah, the heating works on the C400. It's just that there's no way for you to actually interact with it because there aren't any heating controls. But yeah, a lot has been changed for the London C400. Though it still won't be quite up to scratch. With what, these ugly ass things? They're hideous. Look at them. They're horrible. They're just big bricks. I made them and I think they're awful. I think the sounds are actually alright on the Dewa version though. The buses aren't licensed. Reese was trying to get licenses years ago. The companies weren't being particularly helpful. Yeah, the NRM's the licensed one. Yes. No, the design itself is copyrighted. Or protected, yeah, that's the better word. But yeah, the C400 still has my favourite driver views of any UK OMSI bus. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do an empty run back to the depot. So all in all, the map has somewhere in the region of 2 hours unique drive time, including both directions of the main route. I don't know how the back door functions. I mean, it used to be that the back door was actually left open all the time, and you hopped on and hopped off the platform, but then people kept falling off it. Yeah, that was what it was like in the Citaro that I drove at one point. It was a bit confusing at first, but there's one button that opens. There's a front door button which opens all doors and closes the front door, and then there's individual closing buttons for the rear doors, I think. I can't remember, it was a couple of years ago when I drove it. What part of the force feedback do you mean? Do you mean just the weight of the steering that centers it, because you can see it has? Or do you mean vibration effects and whatnot, because I just keep those turned off? Yeah, NRMs were trialled everywhere, but like, they're so clearly just a vanity project. You know, they're not a practical vehicle. Yeah. They have London badges snuck in here and there. Didn't they repaint your one? I didn't mind the SRM that much, honestly. The Dewa gearbox works so much better than the ZF ones. Do you mean like on cobblestone roads or what? Because, you know, in real life you don't feel that much. Like, the linkages and the power steering take so much of the force out of it. that you really don't actually feel that much in real life. Like in the Scanias, basically all you feel, like you can feel a bit more in Tridents and Darts, but in Scanias, basically all you feel is just the centering resistance of the steering wheel. You really don't feel any vibration or anything through it. It's the same with the Volvos. Like, when you're stationary, you should feel resistance in the wheel because the wheels don't want to just turn while they're standing still. Yeah, no, it was so obviously just a government stunt. It depended on the bus. So the, I mean, honestly, the brakes were just really nice on all of them. The one type that I didn't like the brakes on was the... Remember, I was only shunting at low speeds, so I never had the... I never had the retarders go. It was only the service brakes. But the only ones I didn't like were the MANs, the 18220s, because they have a heel hinged brake pedal instead of a top hinged brake pedal, and it's not like a car type heel hinged brake pedal. It's like, in fact, it's not even quite heel hinged. It's sort of hinged like a third of the way up the flat pedal. So like your heel lifts up and the ball of your foot goes down. And it was just so weird and imprecise and awkward. And I have no idea why they did it like that. I think the park and ride has been cut from this version, Ross. Yeah, exactly. The park and ride roads have definitely been cut. So this is what Jaden was on about a while ago, about whether he should spend a bit longer and release with 4 routes, or release now with 2 routes. Well, not now, but you know what I mean. Okay. Yeah, it's quite a neat little... Oh, God. Yeah, the traffic is not set up here. Yeah, this is a unique little roundabout as well. Because it's got this buses only section that goes straight through the middle of the roundabout. Ooh. Ooh, look at these pedestrians. I haven't seen that before. What happened there? What the fuck happened there? I've never seen that before. OMSI AI on dual carriageways, it just doesn't work. Yeah, OMSI's pedal inputs are very surprisingly unconfigurable. Well, no, that's a lie, because you can just interpret the inputs in a completely different way if you want to. But Yeah, you are right, it does tend not to be represented particularly well. I need to end map that. Ah, thank you for the follow. The Juby? The Jubby? The Juby? Oh god, no. No, it's so bad. Yeah, so the park and ride route will normally head off to the left here as a shortcut to get back to the park and ride itself. But that part of the route has been cut for the time being to get a first version of the map out more quickly. Yeah. Force feedback's going to be an interesting challenge. But yeah, there are better ways of doing it than how OMSI does it. The welcome squad is out. One thing which is a shame... that really depends. I'm assuming that's pedestrians flying everywhere. Normally a day ticket is in the region of £5 to £10, and a single will be between £1 and £5. Fast peoples. Peoples go fast. Oh yes, I'd forgotten that the C400 still has this feature. We occasionally get people asking what's that weird sound the C400 makes, and it always turns out that they've got a triple pedal set and they just haven't bothered to press the clutch pedal all the way yet, because for some reason Logitech pedals start from the top and go downwards and are reversed. So they're at maximum input when they're all the way up, and minimum input when they're all the way down. And in order to get it to shut up, what you have to do is you have to just press the pedal once all the way down. And it's odd. Yeah, I like how much more urban Paynton is now, because we don't really have very much of that sort of city centre feeling in UK OMSI maps. Imagine going round a mini roundabout. Yes, just wait for London, exactly. I still sometimes play the South London project because it still gives me that city centre feeling much more than any other UK OMSI map does. Even though it's honestly a bit crap, like, it still gives me that feeling, which no other map really succeeds with yet. I have a very good idea of when Buses of the West Country will be released, and I'm not telling you. You've got to remember, though, that this is a fictionalised version of the area, which is combining multiple different bits together. So this is why I take a slightly different approach to naming than Jaden does, because Jaden tends to name them after real-world places, and then make them completely different. No, it wasn't good when it came out. But he tends to name them after real-world places and make them completely different. Or use... Oh, in terms of fun, yes. And then use sort of bits of inspiration from the real areas. What I do is I make things with inspiration from real areas, but I give them a fictional name, which gives me the artistic license to do what I want with it, and nobody complains, "Oh my god, this isn't like the real thing." I mean, there was an earlier version of Buses of the West Country out at the time. Yeah, Bowdenham is old. They do, don't they? There's about one person. It used to be about one person every 3 weeks. Yes, I'm on Fellas Film. I am Whistlehead on Fellas Film. I run the moderation team. Don't get on my bad side. Run the moderation team with the help of the admins and like the mods themselves. But yeah, it used to be that about every 3 weeks somebody would start a project to convert Bowdenham to right-hand drive, and then they'd give up on it within about a week or two of that. Yep, Ross runs the downloads moderation team. If you want to have your files approved, don't get on his bad side. Yep. Joe is guilty of not only trying to convert Bowdenham, but trying to make a whole new Bowdenham altogether. Oh no! My power! So yeah, the park and ride will go down there, but at the moment it doesn't. Well, I downloaded it back in the day and just found that it performed terribly. Ooh, it's Looby-Doo. Looby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? Yeah, I downloaded it. It performed terribly. I had a look around the town centre. I didn't really like it, and then I uninstalled it. I also installed Keetlestone and found that it really didn't feel very UK map-ish or real-world-ish. Yeah, that's the good thing that it has going for it, is it does have a lot of routes. Yeah, that's basically what the admin chat channel is for. Yeah, this is what I mean by fake shadows. It's like this shadow under this bridge. Yeah, but I was going to go to the park and ride. Because we haven't stopped there yet. Ross's new job. Couldn't get a job at Tesco, so he decided to work as a sat-nav instead. Wonder how many people are ever going to actually line their doors up with these. I think probably the biggest thing wrong with OMSI is force feedback. As in not its force feedback effects, but its actual force feedback. Is the lack of damping. Not if Ross timetables the map. If Ross timetables it, then we're all going to be half an hour late by the end of a 10-minute route. And then he'll claim that he did it at 3 miles an hour with the doors open all the way. Ross Prime. I think those bollards are set back far enough. Yep. Yes, Ross is banned from setting the timetables for this one. No longer allowed. Yep, level crossing. And this is the new bus depot. With more fake shadows around lampposts and things just to set them into the scene a little better. Social distancing buses, yep. There we go. And that's your map. Now yeah, normally what you do is you dump your bus in the inbound bus pile, and a fake shunter will go off and park it, and then a fake shunter will go and collect it and park it here for you to use it next. There will be static C400s, and they will be used in a park list so that random ones show up instead of just all the same in random spacing. And that AI will be fixed, because of course it will. I mean, it's a shame that this nice road that went along here has been removed and is never going to see the light of day, but like, all in the name of progress. But yeah, that's the map. That's pretty much all there is to see. So that was about 1.5 hours to do that, and then there would be, yes, it will, and then there will be some extra time to obviously complete the 35 in the other direction again. But yeah. Just going to pan back across to Totnes. There's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of work that's been done. The idea is also to have a shorter a route coming out down the narrow roads out this way, which is why this is here, and have it heading up over the hills in this direction, which should be nice. That would be the 525, but that's not coming just yet. And yeah, for the bits that you haven't seen yet, this is Totnes, that's the bottom of Totnes Hill. Instead of coming down here now, you go off to the right. Yes, panthers. That's what we like. And then you go left, then past this new housing estate bit, which I really like. Whether it'll be payway or not is still a question mark, and like, I hope it'll be there at some point. Yeah, bus stops, and then you go this way, and warning lights for the fire station. And then Totnes with the wonderful pedestrian crossing. Then a fountain, which just is a particle effect. So if you don't have your particle effects turned on, you will hear the fountain, but you will not see the fountain. But yeah, this area makes heavy use of the faux shadows. So you can see pretty much every tree has a fake shadow under it, which just darkens the area underneath and adds a much more realistic tone to the area. Yes, there is. And yeah, there you go. And I'm just going to dump the bus here for a moment, because probably my favourite that's because it's made out of bits we made for Cotterell. But probably my favourite single bus stop on the map. And again, ignore the traffic. I mean, this is obviously not right. No! Yeah, probably my favourite single bus stop is this one here, by the supermarket. Just because it feels so supermarket-y. Yeah, the textures on the building aren't great, but it can be covered up. And then I really like this turning circle here. The turning circle is the reason I like this bus stop. I just think it's a really neat little thing. Yeah. And then, for those of you who missed it, this is Totnes Depot, which is just in an industrial estate. That's the sound of a hardened Welsh bus driver. I'm going to cross the fence. And this is Totnes Bus Depot. Which is probably a bit bigger than it needs to be, honestly. But it's nice. We tried to make a separate internal and external reversing sound, but there really wasn't any way to sync the two up so that when you opened the window you still heard them in sync with each other. You just got these horrible effects. That was beautifully straight parking. It's a lot harder in OMSI than real life. So, settings, graphics, target frame rate 60, neighbour tiles count 1, max visibility distance 750, min screen size 1.3, reflections 4.6, max map complexity all, max object complexity all, stencil buffer effects off, particle systems active, and graphics advanced. Everything down here turned on. Reflections 256, and then these at default. You can't see them. Oh, OMSI. OMSI. Hang on. I reckon. Hang on. There we go. There we go. How about this? Was that better? These are the settings that I use. Hopefully those are visible. I might just turn that off, honestly. Yeah. Anyway, there you go. That is Bus to the Westcountry 3. And that is the stream. I'm going to go and have some food now. Thank you for coming along. And I hope you enjoyed. So I'll see you later. Bye.